Okay.
It's now recording.
All right. There are, okay, they're not powers that be as in governments. The governments are on the other ones parts. So you have the poles that are forming intentions, the groups that are forming intentions, with north and south poles.
Like a magnet.
Like a magnet. But then there's others that are watching it, and they're anticipating the moves, and they're trying to manipulate and take advantage of tomorrow is going to be important. Their intentions are forming. They are not as much. That's pull. Okay, here it is. There are those, it is of a smaller group, big but smaller group that are of the, wants to keep the world power centers as they have been. They are their collective intentions are more unified and so very intense. And that is why, even though they are of a smaller group, they affect more because of their intensity and more unified. That is like one pole of the magnet. There is another, it's more than one. No, it's not more than one. There is another larger mass. The larger mass, their intention is not as defined. It's a lot more diverse and individualized. It's actually more comfortable in their intention. They're a bigger mass. But because of the size of the mass, the intention is comparable to the smaller mass, which is more intense. It's like a smaller magnet but it's a more intense magnet, and a bigger, weaker magnet, because all of it is not pointing in the same direction exactly. The other side, the one small side, is very tight, very intense, very exact.
Very highly focused?
Very highly focused, very unified. It's like one mind. It is like one being. There is so intense, so unified. The other side is more dispersed and though it has a generalized, what would you call it? Generalized purpose intention, it is not precise. There are those that are trying to get it to precise, but the very nature of it is not as precise, but that's a good thing. That is not a bad thing, that is a good thing. This group that is intense and determined, they have almost acquiesced their individuality of their souls to create a single soul, and that they lose their own individual consciences. Whereas the bigger mass, which is not, their intention is not as precise, they have maintained their individual consciousness that allow them flexibility. The super intense side does not have flexibility. Then there's also individuals, smaller groups, very small groups of individuals which are trying to manipulate both of these groups to their benefit. They're not doing it so much for personal power. They don't really want power. It's annoying to them. They want more to, like scavengers. They want to come along and come around and take what they little bits of spoil from the two groups, so they manipulate them so they can get spoil and get what they want out of it, but it's not necessarily, they don't want to become like great powers or have their own groups. They want to stay small, like pirates. Yes, they are like pirates. There's one definitely there. That is one that's doing a lot of influence. There's one here that's doing some. There's other little ones, but they're much smaller, like smaller, very small ones around also. And then there's some individuals that just are out for themselves. They're not part of any group at all. Just interspersed individuals. There are not as many individuals in the tight group as you would think. They're looking out for themselves. Because, they are looking, no, they're too tight. Okay. They are all in play. The tight group and the dispersed big group are like north and south of a magnet. And they are being pushed together. They have to interact. They cannot not interact. And the interaction is we've been experiencing a come together, push apart. Come together, push apart. That is what has been going on. When that happens, individuals along the outside edges of the two groups sometimes get knocked around. Sometimes someone from the tight group might get knocked out a little bit and has the opportunity to go to the broader group. I don't see, no, the broader group, I'm going to call this the South Pole. The broader group, the South Pole. The South Pole, not so many, though there are ones that break off, they do not go and attach to the North Pole group. The South Pole group, some may break off and go off and sort of do their own thing, but then they sort of come back there. They're very fluid. It's not a tight center. They don't have a tight center. Oh, the centers. Oh. The center in the North group. Oh, the center in the North group. Oh. Oh my, it is very sad. Okay, I'm not going there. That is their choice. South group still is not just... There is a coming together that is going to come place. It has to. They cannot be completely separate. They must come together. The South Pole group, though they will try to pull together, it will not be like the North group, and it will be seen as weakness by the North group and by some who have just outliers. who are who have a north and south pole. There are some that have a north and south pole. There's becoming less and less. But the South Pole's diversity is more in line with creation and the universe. This is the question. This is the great question. It is like Star Wars, the original shows. There is a group like the Empire that is powerful and strong and controls a lot. But as says, the more you squeeze, the more will slip between your fingers, and that is true. The more they are squeezing, the more they're slipping between their fingers. An early rebellion in the original show, that is the other side. They're diversified and messy, but they're individuals and strong, and they're each in their own way. Oh, that is it. The north side is at their strength. They are at where they are, but their strength cannot grow. That is what they are. They're at their zenith, their pinnacle. They can get no stronger. The south side, with all the individuals, as the individuals are loosely united in love and respect, and then as each individual no longer sees himself as a rebel against the greater power, but instead sees himself in their full strength and power, and that the other side has nothing over them. They have no power over them. They have no authority. That they have no authority. That they are authority unto themselves. But they maintain the loose connection and respect. Namaste for each other. And namaste, the divine in me sees and honors the divine in you. When they stand in their divinity, each individual respecting the divinity of each other, they will grow in divinity and love. And it will continue to grow and grow, because as it grows in this, the divinity of each sees the divinity of each, the seeing of the divinity of each, they will grow, and they will become invincible. This side will try to attack. The north side will try to attack. And you'll try to barrel in. Because that is all they know. And they live in fear of their own weakness. They will have a choice. Oh my goodness, they're going to have a choice. As the divinity of this group becomes clearer to them and to each other, it will become universal. Those who have chosen the North Pole can either break off and come and join into and recognizing the divinity, which is, the divinity must always be in love and truth. You cannot stand in your own divinity unless you're in love and truth. You cannot bring darkness and lies and pain into your divinity. The North side is going to have a choice, but they're not going to realize it till it's going to be in a moment. It's going to be a moment of choice. The South Pole is going to be fine. It'll be scary, it'll be hard, but they will smile. As soon as they realize that there is no authority over them, they will smile. Do not try to find a new master. Okay. This is what is going to be happening. It is already happening and unfolding. Oh. Look at yourself carefully. Find your own divinity. Stand in truth. Laughter, light, creativity, love. Do not get pulled into the hate. Do not get pulled into belief that another has authority over you. That will only draw you into the North. There's going to be a healing as more return into the divinity and stand in their divinity. Then those that are hurting and searching, they will be healed. And their own divinity will light and shine forth and heal even others. It won't stop. It'll just reverberate. Those in the North Pole, they will not like this at all. And even though the North is strong, the South Pole is just going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing. Earth herself is aligning with the South Pole. That is what she had envisioned in the beginning. The creativity and diversity and the light and the divinity of it all. She's going to shake off anything from the North Pole. The North Pole will be angry at Earth itself. The Watchers will come in. Oh my. Oh my. It will be like a cheesecloth. They will just gather them up. It'll be like an energetic cheesecloth. Oh, do not want to be there. It's going to be brilliant. 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 There are songs. There are songs. A brilliant rainbow light shining forth. Everything is okay. Now is the time to choose. It is happening. No, not now. It is happening now. There is something to choose. Very soon. Okay. Okay.